out there with your Chinese-speaking colleagues,
Right.
maybe it doesn't matter how much English you speak, but number one, it matters a lot how clearly you speak and how slowly you speak. You don't rip your American accent,
Right.
right? That's obviously a given, right?
Like the broken name.
Yeah. But given that whether you or your Chinese colleagues or U.S. colleagues or whoever, language doesn't matter. English doesn't matter. Chinese doesn't matter. But what matters is when 2 or 3 people sit down and figure out, okay, they say, okay, here's how I took from the meeting, what I took from the meeting, right? And then someone simply collect all those words into a document. And you just need to brush it up a little bit, have a China manager or a US manager polish it, and that will do the job, actually, most often. Now, the point I'm trying to make here is, when you do this, first, you have a talking session or a review orally what just happened. We just came back from the meeting, customer meeting, and here's your perspective. There may be a sales guy, there may be an engineer, there may be a marketing, right? And so in 2 or 3 versions, when you start collecting, patterns start to emerge that maybe everybody understood customer wanted a cheaper price, or maybe they wanted a cheaper price plus maybe 2 or 3 different varieties of products, or they wanted some strategic relationship that is not there yet, but you're going to have to define it during the course of 3 months. Either way, those points will have to come out. And here I just posited it as a China team, so it could be US team also. Someone just put together a polished document, put it out through the door. And so this exercise kind of sort of emphasizes the actual information. And this is one big barrier that I've experienced in my experience as a really bad thing is China teams, if they're part of your same company, they often feel that they don't know what the big plans of the company is. And this is not something that you should take lightly. It speaks, if your company is having this kind of a phenomena or a cultural situation, then there is something very serious that is going to lead to it. Because people in China, if they feel that they don't know where the company is going, they're not going to feel motivated anymore. And just the same as how we feel that we don't, I'm here, and if you're working in Hanhai Investment, we don't know what we're going to do in the next year. Right? It feels like a rudderless ship, right? And so my point is that it is that much more important for you to be aware of this phenomena, because China office is way there. It's like out of sight, out of mind, and you want to do something more extra to get them on the same page, and especially strategic direction of the company, what new products are going to come in the next roadmap discussion. How are we going to compete with the local competition? Those are very important for the teams that are residing in China, because put yourself in their shoes. They are normal employees, regular employees like you and me. They come to work, they expect to do something useful, exciting. They want to feel happy about it, and they want to feel they have contributed something. And over there is the US team. They seem to know a lot, but I'm kind of on the edges, nibbling at the periphery, and I really don't know where I'm going, and if I'm going in the right direction or not. That is the big fear factor that will develop. And I have a little bit of a different opinion on how you solve it. 99 out of 100 times when you pose this question, you get one answer. Yeah, we have quarterly communication meeting. A CEO or a marketing guy will get up and then he will give a big old presentation. Everybody looks at it and asks some questions, and that is a common way this issue is tackled. But a more effective way is come down to the level of the managers. We're all at this, manager or a director level or even individual level, right? What you do is you simply agree to have a once a month meeting, just the manager level. And all you do is this: you give yourself a, it won't be a big discussion type of meeting, but give yourself about 3 slides. And what you want to do is you simply want to describe in 3 slides what have you done in the last 1 month as your group, and what do you hope to achieve. What are you looking forward to? What are you looking forward to for your group? Or what are the challenges, what are the problems where you need help from the other group? If you put that and the other person, she puts the same thing, so you have 4 to 5 managers sitting together. Now, I'm not saying you're going to define a strategy for the company here. No. What you're going to do is you're going to expose each other's group's activity to one another. And thereby a full picture is painted among yourself as to where you're going and so forth. And by doing this, you can even contribute, once you do it 2 or 3 times, you are on the same page, as a ship, you kind of sort of know everybody what is literally like, different hands on the ship. They know what they're doing. They can see each other doing what they are. But you will be very surprised how often this does not happen. First of all, excuse me. So this part where if a company is not sharing the plans, it just creates such an information darkness. You just feel very bad about how the company will go, how negatively it will impact the customer, the company. Well, and another gripe, a very realistic scenario is many times China teams feel, look, you're not listening, you're not taking us seriously, right? We give you feedback and we tell you how we feel, or we tell you what needs to be done, but you're never taking us seriously. Right? And I think this is primarily because there is a perception outside China that well, cheap China quality means what can that producer tell them? I don't know, right? There is that. And I'm here to tell you that all of these are stereotypes, and there are pockets, and there are groups, there are companies, there are phenomena from the corporate point of view where tremendously high degree of sensitivity is there for quality, creativity, and you want to be a part of the global player, global scenario. And so to come at China groups with this kind of an attitude, it sort of makes you look like you're stuck in yesteryears, right? And like I said here, I think I'm going to put the ball back because I want the China teams and managers and groups to really become very good at what they already do, but then compared to what U.S. and European guys do, right? Is basically I would say that, look, first it's because of ignorance, sheer ignorance. I can tell you, in all my 4.5 years of experience, many people that I know, and when I talk to them, they could easily tell who the international consumer electronic manufacturers are. Toshiba, Sony, Panasonic, you go down the list, LG and so forth. But nobody could tell me who are the top 5 or 6 China domestic large consumer manufacturers are. Now, I'm not saying this as the deficiency or lack of empathy or lack of industrial knowledge from U.S. guys, but I'm just saying that those things are changing. Now, if you want to be in China business ecosystem, either as a supplier or as a participant, as an investor or a strategic partner or whoever, you want to understand who are the top 5 to 6 guys in your space in China. In China, those tend to be Chinese names, and then they tend to have equivalent English names, right? Yeah, and so yeah, that's what makes it unique. You have to really understand it in their way. So what I say is, look, have a China marketing manager go through a very good, here's what China top 5, 6 customers are, and here are the revenue potentials of these customers, and here's why you should care about it. Right? And get to know them, and have the China team do this presentation to your whole team, right? Or give this task to someone in China who can bring that out from the Chinese language to English language, you know.
If you don't mind me, are you gonna have questions up at the end? I don't want to keep stopping because you just
no, please.
Yeah,
please.
what I make a very, very important point, and I think that, I mean, let's be realistic here. We're not saying U.S. needs China. That's not necessarily. I'm not gonna say it that raw. But what we forget is China has a built-up sufficient market that it can service and it can maintain itself. So a lot of times we're this attitude is really, really misrepresented. I mean, you know, we have to, it's not about humility, it's really about the end of the day, their whole is greater than their parts in China, in Asian culture.
It's a good way to put it.
So a lot of times you have to, they want to know, it's not just about making a dollar. They want to know at the end of the day, yeah, how are the interests of their people, what are they contributing in the long term? So it's very important. I mean, you know, what you're talking about, so I clearly understand.
Yeah, thank you. No, totally. And that comes, you feel it, right? You know, it's not like someone taught you to speak like this because we have to be politically correct in global arena or whatever. When you start doing business in this environment, you immediately see where you're bringing your own discount, right? And it's good to sort of highlight it out and then speak. So we're getting to the end of last 3 of those. Okay, here's another, just a continuation of the previous, is this. Let's say in an engineering development scenario, you have China teams doing some development, U.S. teams doing some development. Very common phenomena is tasks are assigned to China team all of a sudden, meaning without requisite planning ahead of the time. Meaning US team, we're like this, US team sits around and we do days and days of planning, we do this, we do this. Because, you're in the same room, you're, facing face to face. And then you check the boxes called China team 1, China group, this, and then you throw that over to them. They have not participated to a sufficient degree. You will have phone calls, you will have and everything, but at the end of the day, again, put yourself in their shoes. They are very eager, enthusiastic, able, willing engineering professionals, and they want to put their engineering and design profession to use. One critical part of engineering skill is planning. And imagine yourself being an engineer, how much joy you derive out of planning something very good, right? When you plan something good, you feel something. You feel, okay, this is good, it's coming together, right? They want to feel that. And you throw the task at them and you're like, whoa, what happened? And I just got like 2 days to turn that around. Where is the thinking portion? Where am I internalizing this? Where is my part of the, big whatever thing you feel, right? And I think that comes from this another thing that goes around is that, whenever there's a US and China thing, entity, US group is considered like the head or the brain, and everything happens, and whatever happens in China is kind of like supporting activity and an accessory. Now, it takes a while for the mindset to catch on to reality. But I'm just saying that, you better catch on real fast, because these kinds of attitudes are not going to help yourself in going forward. And I gotta say that, this, again, it is not like everything is nice in China and we are the ones to take the blame over here, or everything is nice in US and they're the ones to take the blame, whichever. It doesn't work like that, right? There's always a skill attached to something that you need to be done. you can always define a skill. Who is supposed to fill that role? You know, if you want to get rid of all this, if you want to